Are Lich Priests any good in patch 5.2? Again, not that the Tomb Kings changed much, they're pretty eternal. But homing missiles did change, so the light variety did get a buff in that sense. Let's go over this essential unit and what it can do to make the Tomb Kings much more effective. Recruited by increasing capacity, the Lich Priest comes in at 3,520 health on Ultra, or especially squishy. Armor is 30, missile resistance 15%, no fire resistance or weakness. Leadership starts at 60, so pretty low, and speed is 31, charge speed 41. Melee attack starts at 25, which is awful, and attack interval of 4 is normal. Splash target size is medium, and max entities damaged is a captain-like 8. Funny. Melee defense starts at 30, which is, well, there's worse somewhere surely. Weapon strength comes in at 300, split between base 210 and armor piercing 90. So not atrocious for base damage, definitely atrocious for AP. Charge bonus is a mere 10, and mass is 600. Besides cause fear and standard undead issues, under 50% they can use the Curse of Kassar, 100 meter range, 35 meter radius hex, 25 seconds duration. Enemies affected suffer minus 60 armor. Minus 60 is a lot, and this is not a faction with lore of metal, so just keep this in the back of your mind. It's not like you generally want them to get low HP. Not spellcasters. On a skeletal steed, their only mount option, HP rises to 3,948, armor is still 30, speed 76, charge speed 110, charge bonus 30, mass 1000. The melee stats are so awful, don't make me repeat them, but the speed is a lot better since you get to choose where the Lich Priest is, and is not. That helps keep them above ground rather than sent back to the tomb permanently. Besides, it's not like their melee stats got worse or anything, so, token stuff. As an embedded hero, the Lich Priest has replenished troops, and that means they are absolutely essential to your legions. Cleanse Corruption is their map passive. Ironic for undead, but that's how it goes. Agent actions are damage building, wound, and hinder replenishment, but sometimes the latter is something you will actually want. Specialist reduces the cost of these actions, and crucially, Canopic Jar Hoarder is hidden on the right. Don't ignore that, it's important. Like the Necrotect, Trapped Soul grants spell resistance and grants causes terror, which is the most battlefield use you'll get from putting them into melee ever, and only against the right factions. Ceremonial Bandages offers nice missile resistance. For the spell line, Nehekara is something I covered in a standalone video, but basically, the healing is passive only. You can really act in support of a particular lord or hero with the buffs, or a regiment of renown. The direct damage enemy unit spell is fairly cheap, and shaves off speed, which can buy you time, and the one Vortex spell has its places, plus the big area of effect debuff really takes the sting off a greenskin army in the middle of a WoW battlefield effect. Dark Elves Murderous Prowess, and so on and so forth. It helps. Death is worth mentioning not simply because Spirit Leech has its place, but Soul Blight is a wonderful early area effect debuff, and the armor reduction is a huge help to skeleton archers, and Aspect of the Dread Knight probably either don't get it at all or get 2 pips minimum. Overcast, yes, the cause terror can be nice, but it means area effect magical attack for your forces, a very, very nasty surprise for enemies packing a lot of magical resistance. Purple Sun isn't as racy as it used to be, as in, it stays put more. Lore of Light is very interesting because the passive leadership buffs can keep your army surprisingly sturdy leadership-wise for an undead force generally, kicking for longer, and often constructs are the ones surrounded and taking a beating and losing morale, so getting morale buffed will matter. The rest comes down to 3 words usually. These words being Net of Emmentalk. If you have a ranged focus and no light caster, you're going to suffer for no good reason, so take the time to recruit one. The other stuff is just bonus. Now, it's really important to note that the second line options available at rank 10 are not mutually exclusive. Incantation of Preservation grants Lord Recruit rank +1 faction-wide, so that's a nice little boost. Recruit rank +2 to the hero's army means that your free quote-unquote units are more veteran the instant you call them up. Note that a normal lord can only increase recruit rank up to +2 tops for all units Lord's army. Also note, if you get that far, there's no law that says you can't have 2 Lich Priests with this unlocked in the same army. Keeper of Lore grants plus 2% research rate and plus 10 Winds of Magic reserve capability for your own army. Yes, the research rate is low, but there are shackles on the faction for that to keep it honest. Having said that, a major rework a while back concerning the increasing rate of wins gained per turn made all that stuff increase reserve capacity instead. So the Lich Priest got a massive buff coming into patch 5.0. Finally, Mortuary Cultist grants a mild increase to the Priest's hero action's success chance, mild debuff to enemy heroes' chance, and 5% ambush success chance to your own army. It's something. As for how you use the Lich Priest, aside from the exceptions I have mentioned, it is very simple. They are as pure spellcasters as you are going to find in bandages. Treat them as the expensive, squishy beings they are, keep them out of harm's way as much as you possibly can, and try to get them over level 20. Wait, that's not level 20, that's level 12. Looks like I forgot something, let's go back. Elixir of Immortality automatically unlocks at rank 12 these days. Physical resistance 5%, and when normally killed in battle, this hero will be wounded instead. In other words, they become immortal at rank 12, not rank 20. This is your offset to the unit being this squishy, in a faction where these priests are absolutely essential for your legions generally. So try to keep that in mind, get them to 12, and then you keep them forever, unless you personally dismiss them. There's actually not a ton of worrying about traits either. You take what you can get, you work with it. Wise is very wise to get if you're hoarding canopic jars. The Mortuary Cult items can give them much more ability than they have stock, but even so, you genuinely want to use them for their magic rather than their theoretical melee benefits. Also, there's plenty of ancillaries that can only be used on the priests themselves, so for the army replenishment, and just in general not wasting the availability of magic. You want them, you want each to get to Arcane Conduit, you want to eventually get the Shadow Ones unlocked too, but some people don't think you should bother using them, and well, your choices are limited, so you just have to do all you can with what you have. Perhaps the biggest dilemma is whether or not to spam Canopic Jar Hoarder on every new recruit. I think it may be asking too much of your first priest without Immortality. Afterwards, it's not a bad idea. Unless it's a complete disaster, you'll get them to rank 12 and go from there. Like all Tomb King's heroes, they're skill hungry and really want levels, but this is the balancing we are provided. The early Immortality compensates for the value of other factions killing them, and their general softness. All you can do is just keep fighting wars until you get them high enough. Take care, and enjoy taking one of these guys and punishing the opponent very badly for forming a blob in the wrong neighborhood.